I wish we could actually just sit down and say, let's put the politics out of it.
I just don't understand why people find it so hard to understand why Kyle Rittenhouse fired in self-defense.
No, it's as simple as this. It's people have stopped viewing everyone as an American. We've gotten away from this idea that we're all Americans and we're all due the same rights. We're endowed with those rights, et cetera, et cetera. We've gotten away from that. And now it's about, how do you identify? Well, are you on this team or are you on that team? Are you part of my group or are you part of the other group? Well, if you're the opposition, then I've got to use the government against you. You know, I even see people on Twitter, et cetera, every day, people who are criminal justice advocates, who are advocates for prison reform, will be coming out like Hakeem Jeffries, screaming, you got to lock Kyle up and throw away the key. And it's like, wait, aren't you the guy who's always talking about corrupt prosecutions and we need to redo the evidence and we need to look into things? And yet when someone's on the other side, you're going to turn around and say something like that. You're destroying everything that you've ever worked for, because I do think that we have issues with prosecutors. I think anybody who's looking at this case could say we've got issues with the prosecutorial system in our system of justice in the United States. I wish we could actually just sit down and say, let's put the politics out of it and say, look, do we want our kid? You could do this to anybody, by the way. You could do this to anybody. Anybody who had a gun, who defended himself, you take the politics out of it. You could start everything. Well, did you provoke it? Why did you bring the gun? Why did you do this? They could do it to my kid. They could do it to your kid. They could do it to any one of us who got into, walking into their car and gets mugged and then all of a sudden wants to defend themselves, and you turn it into something that it never was.
Jack, I'm going to let you go, but I want to ask one other question. I thank you for being so gracious with your time. But the prosecutor, I think Binger, I think is his name.
Thomas Binger.
I think he's done a lot of inappropriate things in this trial. I'm wondering if there's one thing in particular where you were like, oh, your head nearly exploded. I can't believe he did this. I can't. And part of me, and this will be the last part of the question, is just like, I think the prosecutor, even by bringing this case, is the most inappropriate thing he's done, because he's put these jurors in the crosshairs of idiots, like the guy claiming to be George Floyd's nephew or whatever. This trial should have never been brought to case, because it's a clear example of self-defense, in my opinion. That, to me, is the most inappropriate thing he did, but he did it to protect himself and to pass the buck on to jurors, ordinary citizens. That's what I find most outrageous about this.
Look, I mean, you can say so many things. I mean, for example, at one point he says, well, we can all see this video. This guy's chasing Kyle Rittenhouse. And his response is, oh, he's not chasing him. They're just running along in the same path. Or saying that he's holding a gun left-handed, where you can't, and nobody can see him holding a gun left-handed. He's got strapped in a certain way that you can't actually shoulder it left-handed. Or saying things like, if you carry a gun, you lose the right to self-defense. Nope. Second Amendment covers that all day long.